I'm Caitlin Ellis. Today I have a special guest. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Absolutely. My name is Andru Defeye, aka the Gorilla Poet Laureate, aka the Hoodie God, aka Spitting Quarantino, aka I wear my sunglasses inside at night because my eyes are as sensitive as my heart is, y'all. And I'm the current poet laureate of Sacramento 2020 to 2022. I'm the founder of a group called Zero Forbidden Goals, which is a support group for creatives out here. Worked at the Soul Collective as a founding member of that team up until 2020. And I love all things art and creativity. I'm just glad to be here with you, Caitlin.
Well, thank you for taking the time. It's been a while since I've seen you. So that's really great. But actually, can you tell our viewers next what inspired you to get into these different avenues?
Man, so I always tell people my first poem was a suicide note. I was a very depressed kid. I dealt with a lot of pain inflicted from medical procedures, and had a really wild. I have a condition called Eagle Barrett syndrome, also known as prune belly syndrome. Basically, that means I was born without stomach muscles. So I like to joke that the things that were supposed to hold what's inside, I was born without those. So you know what I mean. I have to let what's inside come out. I started writing my teen years to really get through the depression and the anxiety, and just kind of put that somewhere outside of myself. And then that kind of blossoms into being it's really the only thing I'm interested in. And in high school, I had a teacher named Virgil Doogie who really introduced me to poetry through the Outlaw Bible of American Poetry, and showed me that that's what I was doing with this writing. And that kind of gets me into what would become my whole life path of poetry.
And actually, anybody looking to get into poetry or such, what advice would you give?
Um, Number one, I would say stop by the Sacramento Poetry Salon on Facebook and join us. Other than that, it's about writing for yourself. Like worry about writing for the audience later. Worry about how people receive what you say later. But really focusing on what you have to say to get it out for you. For me, it's a healing practice. It's nice that other people enjoy my poetry and my music, but it's for me. It's just another methodology for me to heal, just like it is for everybody else. So I think really looking at it and coming at it that way, versus like, a lot of times. Poets and entertainers, rappers especially, like to fill in that part of themselves that where they lack self-confidence, right? And they fill it with a bunch of ego, and it's easy to do that, and get lost in that, and you don't make authentic work that really represents yourself or says what you want to say. So my thing is like keep writing every day, and write your truth. Don't worry about what the audience is going to clap for. Write what you're going to clap for inside of you.
That's a beautiful message. And can you please tell us, at the beginning of COVID, how were you affected?
Oh man, my whole life shut down when COVID shut down. Aside from not being able to go to the center that I worked at, the Arts and Cultural Center Soul Collective on 21st and Broadway, um, as well as not being able to physically go in there, all of my gigs for the year got canceled. I'm someone who makes half of my living at least on, you know, activations and shows and events and performances, and all of that was gone. So it definitely took out, a good chunk of my income. And then, I have an autoimmune condition. I like to say I have a special edition immune system, right? Because we watch the ways that we speak to ourselves. And with that, I had to sit at home by myself for this whole year and a half, basically. I sat with me and my dog and a puppet named Zeus, and that was our little pod, So it was hard on the mental at points to be that alone, right? It was also really beautiful. I also got to really meditate and spend some time with myself that I wouldn't have had otherwise, to really dig into myself and do some self work that I've been needing to do. So that it definitely like took a wear on my mental health. And then when the uprising started, when the racial justice uprising started, I'm an activist in this community. I'm used to being out there. People are used to seeing me out there on the front lines, and I wasn't able to go out there. So I had to learn to support my community in other ways, um, which was a challenge, but it ultimately ends up really beautiful. You know, I picked up a lot of new skills. I'm doing live streaming now, which is a whole new world. Um, but yeah, it definitely like, man, it put me on my knees. It put me on my knees when it first hit, because I didn't know how I was making ends meet. I didn't, everything just kind of went up in the air for me as a creative.
And kind of with everything starting to open back up, as well as when back then, when everything was virtual, what are some of the things you've been working on?
Oof. So one of the big projects is this right here. The Sacramento Poetry Salon came to be in the middle of the pandemic. We felt like there needed to be a place for poetry to still live. And we wanted to continue. I have 3 years as the poet laureate, and there's a lot of work to be done. And the biggest part of that work for me is uniting Sacramento's poetry scene and creating a multi-generational, multicultural Sacramento poetry scene, and really connecting everyone, all the tribes that are kind of moving around right now. So the poetry salon was for sure one of the things I worked the most on. And then I have a weekly live stream called Masked Up, where I interview healthcare professionals. I just got done doing an interview with the California Surgeon General today, which is wild. So, I've done a lot of the live streaming stuff. I did a show for a while called The Great Joy Hunt, where I would start every morning with people and just help people kind of get into a grateful, joyful space as a way of like helping their mental health, because the pandemic did take a lot out of people, and really affect people in a negative way in their mental health. So I did that. I put together a few little poetry shows here and there, and some broadcasts, and was able to help some of the local organizations do some fundraising through the live streaming process. And yeah, just really reached out to, I got to do some really cool poetry shows with friends of mine who are in New York or in Georgia or around the world, that I couldn't normally do because I don't got money to fly them out to Sacramento because they're too famous and they got to fly first class. So it was really nice to be able to kind of dabble in some of that. And I think I'm going to continue working in that realm. I don't see why, just because we're going back to live events, that we can't stream those same live events for the people who are on the other side of the country, and get people tuned into Sacramento. So that's kind of what I'm gonna continue working on, and the Sacramento Poetry Salon will continue to be a project, that really is just a place for us. A salon is where they used to have the conversations about philosophy and politics and policy and arts. And so we just want to have a space to have those conversations, especially around cultural equity in the arts. So yeah, that's what we working on. Check out Sacramento Poetry Salon. Welcome to the Renaissance.
Wow, you've been busy. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience at this time?
Mm, yeah, absolutely. And this is the most important thing that I'm going to say this whole time. Be gentle with yourselves as we're coming out of all of this, and do it at your own pace. I have friends who are already out and about, I mean, already fully back to work, fully back to performing, scheduling shows, hopping on planes. I myself, I have a lot of anxiety around some of that, right? I bought my tickets to my first show, but it's a month away. So I have a month to like kind of reintroduce myself to society and reemerge, because some things aren't comfortable. I mean, a lot of us spend a lot of time with ourselves, and getting back out into the world is uncomfortable, and it's anxiety inducing right now. So I just want to encourage everybody to like move at your own pace, as much as you can. I understand people got bills to pay and such, but just be gentle with yourselves and each other in all of this reemergence. We all just went through a very, very traumatic event. right? Like, and we have to give each other that grace and give ourselves that grace of understanding that we got post-traumatic stress disorder right now. We're a country and a world that's living with PTSD right now. So understand that and give yourself that space, and get yourself some practices. I recommend therapy for everybody. I recommend meditation for everybody. I recommend getting into nature for everybody. Drink more water. There's these little things for self-care that we can do. But yeah, just be gentle with yourselves right now, and know that you don't have to move at anyone else's pace. You can move at your pace.
That's a great message. Thank you for sharing that with us. And if anybody would like to inquire more about you, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me over here at the Sacramento Poetry Salon on Facebook, facebook.com/Sacramento Poetry Salon. You can also find me on the Facebook, Andru Defeye, Andru. Promise if you look up Andru with a U, I'll be like one of 3 that comes up in the whole world. So you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram at The Real Defeye. But yeah, you can also find me at GuerrillaPoet.com. That's GUERRILLA.
Well, again, thank you for joining us and taking the time. I know you've been very busy. It's been great seeing you again.
Absolutely, it's always a pleasure to see you. And yeah, I'm just glad we all here on the other side. Thanks for having me.
Hi everybody, and welcome to our very own advanced arm workout. Now for this workout, you're gonna need a proper gym with proper gear.
Are you ready?
Let's cirque it out. So we're gonna start with bicep curl with a long bar and add 1 plate of 25 pounds on each side. And you're gonna start by grabbing the bar off the floor, lifting it up, slightly bend your knee, tight core, and you're gonna give me 12 reps with 25 pounds on each side. Once you're done with this, add 10 pounds on each side, and then same thing for 10 repetitions. Once you're done with that, another 10 pounds on each side, and you're gonna give me between 6 and 8 repetitions for this one. Now next, overhead tricep press. You're gonna take a dumbbell of 35 pounds and you're gonna bring it overhead. From there you can put your other hand underneath your forearms to give you a little support if you need, and you're gonna slowly bring the dumbbell down and press it up for 12 repetitions. Once you're done with this, you're going to take a 40-pound dumbbell. Then same thing, overhead for 10 presses. Then finally 45 pounds, then same thing between 6 and 8 repetitions for this overhead tricep press. Once you're done with this one, front row shoulder, you're going to take 2 dumbbells of 25 pounds. Bring it down And in control, bring one dumbbell at a time in front of you, bring it down. Then the other side, bring it down. You're gonna give me between 12 and 15 reps for this one. Then once you're done, switch for 2 dumbbells of 30 pounds. With those ones, you're gonna give me between 10 and 12 repetitions. Once you're done with those ones, you're gonna take 2 dumbbells of 35 pounds and give me 6 or 8 repetitions. That will complete the first full circuit. So now we're gonna do one exercise that's gonna combine almost every exercise that we did. To do this one, you're gonna take 2 dumbbells of 40 pounds and you're gonna go from a bicep curl into an Arnold press. And you're gonna do 10 repetitions of this one. When you're done with this one, 2 dumbbells of 45 pounds. Then same thing, bicep curls into Arnold pressing, 10 reps. When you're done with this, 2 dumbbells of 50 pounds. And then same thing, don't give up. This one is the hard one, but give it the max. 10 reps, bicep curls into Arnold press. Now you're done with the first part of this hard arms workout. For the second part, we're going to start by doing another type of bicep curl. For this one, you're going to start with 2 dumbbells of 35 pounds. You're going to start standing, holding the 2 dumbbells, and you're going to give me half of a contraction on one side and a full bicep curls on the other side. You come down, then on the same arms bring it halfway, then down, full bicep curls, and down. This is 1 repetition, and you're gonna give me 10 of those. Once you're done, take 2 dumbbells of 40 pounds. Then same thing, right, left, 10 reps. Once you're done with this, take 2 dumbbells of 45 pounds. And then same thing again, 10 repetitions. In this exercise, we're targeting both a concentric motion, eccentric motion, and isometric motion. Once you're done with this, we're going to go into a skull crusher tricep press. For this one, you're going to need a bench and the same bar we used in the very first bicep curl. For this one, you're going to be laid down on the bench, bring the bar overhead, and slowly in control, you're going to bend the first portion of your arms almost to a point that you can touch your head, and then press it up. I'm starting with 2 plates of 25 pounds. You can go for 12 repetitions for this one. Once you're done with this one, you can add 2 plates of 10 pounds each. Then you're going to give me 10 repetitions on this one. Then for the third set, I added 5 pounds each. Then between 6 and 8 repetitions. From there, we're going to go into our lateral raises. From this exercise, you're going to start with 2 dumbbells of 30 pounds each. Lateral raise, up and down. On this one, you're going to give me between 10 and 12 repetitions. For the second set, you're going to go with 2 dumbbells of 35 pounds. Then same things. For this one, you're going to give me 10 repetitions. And finally, you're going to take 2 dumbbells of 40 pounds and then you're going to give me between 6 and 8 repetitions. From there, once again, we're going to conclude this second part by an exercises that combine almost all the exercises we just did. This one is going to be the handstand push-up. For this one, you can use 2 dumbbells. Try to use some that are a little bit heavy for more stability. And you're going to need a partner, or if you don't have a partner, you can use a wall. You're going to start into a handstand position, take a moment to feel a line, and then you're going to press down and press up. For this one, you can do 1 set of 10 repetitions, take a break, and do a total of 3 sets of 10 repetitions. That concludes the second part of our hard arms workout. We're going to start the third part of our hard arms workout by doing another type of bicep curl. For this one, you're going to need a bench and 2 dumbbells of some of the heaviest weight you are able to lift and half of this weight. I'm using 2 dumbbells of 50 pounds and 2 dumbbells of 25 pounds. You're going to incline the bench and you're going to lay down on top of it. You're going to start by grabbing the 2 heavy dumbbells and do between 6 and 8 repetitions on this one. Then right away, grab your half lighter weight and do 15 repetitions on this one. And you're going to do a total of 3 sets of those. Once you're done with this, you're going to go into our shoulder press in a plank position. For this one, you're going to need a bench, or you can do it against the wall. You're going to start into a plank position with your hands against the bench, and slowly you're going to do a press shoulder almost to the level underneath the bench and press up. You're going to do 10 repetitions on this for 3 sets. To conclude our hard arms workout, Arnold press up. For this exercise, you're going to start with a bench, and you can incline the bench into the straightest way possible. You're going to sit straight, take dumbbells. I'm using 2 dumbbells of 50 pounds each. And you're going to go into an Arnold press up. So you're going to do about 10 to 12 reps for 3 sets. And that concludes our hard arms workout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and see you next time.
When you feel you're alone, cut off from this cruel world, your instincts telling you to run. Listen to to your heart. Those angel voices, they'll sing to you, they'll be your guide back home when life leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind, it keeps us kind. Love keeps us kind. When you suffered enough that your spirit is breaking, you're growing desperate from the fight. Remember you're loved, and you always will be. This melody will bring you right back home when life leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind. When life leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind. Love keeps us kind.